Welcome back again, citizens, and hello, newcomers. I actually just wanted to start this episode off by saying thank you to everybody who's subscribed to my channel. There's been a lot of great positive feedback, a lot of activity in the comments, and a lot of likes on my videos, so I really appreciate you guys, and I really just wanted to start this one off saying thank you. So today's topic is going to be mining. We're going to be covering from hand mining to hidden location mining with things like the Argo MOLE. This guide is going to be helpful for both new players looking to start mining and veteran players who are wondering some of the more nuanced questions like what percentages should I pick up and things like that. As always, if you do find this guide helpful, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know when I put out the next one. Now, to get started as a hand miner, I would suggest starting out in Area 18 or coming here to purchase your starting equipment. You can also find this stuff at New Babbage in the comments at Shubin Interstellar. The reason I like Area 18 is that it's actually a pretty easy layout coming from the apartments. For new players, in order to interact with things, you do need to hit F. If you hold it, it will actually bring up a little mouse icon for you. And you're going to want to do that all the way over here at the elevators as well, so that you can get down to the ground floor of these apartments. Part of the convenience of Area 18 is that everything is pretty much right outside of the apartments. So as soon as you make your way out of the front door, you're going to notice that you have a Kasaba outlet right there, and you also have cubby blasts. Plus you have this little food vendor in case you're having a problem with dying of starvation, which does happen from time to time. Now we're going to make our way over to Cubby Blast immediately, and you're going to be able to purchase pretty much everything that you need to get started here. Right at the entrance you have water, they have plenty of weapons and armor suits, as well as all the utility items that you're going to need. These two panels over here on the side are actually what you're going to use to purchase any sort of weapons, armor, and equipment. However, if you need any of the utility items, these are going to be over here at the front desk, which is where we're going to pick up our Greycat tool, which gives us our mining attachment. You can also buy energy bars, med pens, and oxygen pens, so I do recommend picking up a couple of those while you're here so that you don't have to worry about dying on accident. Now, coming over to the purchase panel, you're going to want to go over to your armor section and buy torso armor. What we're looking for is called the MacFlex Rucksack Core. This one is going to allow us to carry a lot more inventory space while we're mining, and since you're going to be hand mining, that's going to be crucial. You'll want to fill up your inventory as much as possible on your way back. You're also going to want to probably pick up some sort of arm or leg armor. This will protect you in case one of the rocks explodes violently in front of you. I do recommend legs first, just because your leg armor is going to keep you from getting crippled as easily. It can still happen, of course, especially if you're using light armor, but it's worth taking. Once you have everything purchased, it's actually pretty easy to equip everything. What you're going to do is step away from the panel, and using your Moby glass, you're going to move over to your equipment tab and equip everything from there. You can go into the armor tab and the utility tab. That's where you're going to equip your med pen and your mining tool. Make sure that the mining bit is attached to your mining tool. So what we're going to do to get started on these is actually pull up an investigation mission here in Hurston Space. Make sure that it's specifically telling you to go to a cave. I know there are some other systems where you can find these, so if you guys know of any, go ahead and tell me in the comments below. What you'll do is navigate over to the nearest planetary jump point and then fly over manually. It's a good chance for you to get used to your ship, especially if you're a new player. And then once you get here, just go ahead and land outside of the cave. They all have this similar structure to them and look pretty similar from the outside. And you're going to want to run around until you find rocks like this, where you have a clear green, blue, purple. There's always going to be like crystals jutting out of them. This is how you know it's mineable. Go ahead and pull out your mining tool, start aiming it at the rock, and it will scan it. As it scans, it will pull up a bar on the left-hand side that will show you exactly how much energy it's going to take to crack the rock. As you increase your mouse wheel, so you can adjust this in your key bindings, your mouse wheel will scroll up and increase the amount of power going to your weapon, as you can see on the right bar. You want to basically hold that energy bar in the green space until the rock cracks. If you go into the red and it stays in the red for too long, as the red bar fills up, it will explode and do damage to you. You'll want to slowly fill your inventory with these. Occasionally you'll get a glitch where it will say that you can't put it in your inventory. Just kind of swap over to another rock, go back and forth, and eventually you'll be able to just put it back in your pocket. Fill your inventory with these, go over to your nearest trading panel, and you'll be able to actually sell them. In this case, I actually picked up nothing but Dolovine, and I grabbed 6,500 from this load. It took me about 30 minutes to get. It's not the quickest way to make money, but it is a good way to get really used to mining. And once you make 40,000 UEC this way, as a hand miner and a new player, this will allow you to go rent your first prospector and move on to doing other more profitable forms of mining. So this is a good way to start, and it's pretty safe. This is also going to bring us to our next form of mining, which is the most profitable right now. This is using a rock and a cutlass black. If you currently have a prospector that has been purchased with real money, switch to this. It's the same price. You can just melt your prospector down, 155, grab a cutlass black and a rock. They're really easy to pick up scans with. You can actually see here on the screen the difference on the right. The regular minables for like prospectors and moles show up a couple thousand meters out, where the minables for the rock show up a couple hundred meters out, and they show up as that little diamond icon. Now what you're going to do is just land right next to it, pull the rock out, drive up to the mineable, and start cracking it open. Now, just like with doing the hand minables, you'll want to keep a close eye on how much energy you're pumping into the rock, because if it goes into the red zone and stays there, unlike regular rocks where it shatters a little bit, this will throw fragments everywhere, and it's really, really hard to pick them back up. So be really careful with keeping these cracked open. Since I found multiple here, what I'd actually do is go and crack multiple before I vacuum them up, because it does make it easier to vacuum the chunks up, as I'll show you here in a second. You don't get to use the consumables on this, so you are stuck just using the regular mining tool. It's still really efficient, and it makes like 210,000 per run, especially if you can completely fill your hold with Haydenite. Switching this to vacuum mode allows you to pick up a clump at a time, so what you'll want to do is basically focus your vacuum on them for a moment, and you'll hear it kind of click and beep when it's picking up that you've targeted a rock. You really want to focus on the beam hitting the rock rather than aiming around it, and you'll see that it will grab like huge chunks of them at the same time. So you want to make sure that you're focusing on maximizing the amount of chunks that are clumped up together if you possibly can. Sometimes you'll find a place that's a neat little crevice. The places that I recommend doing this are actually Aerial and Microtech. Microtech is a lot safer. The reason I do recommend Microtech over Aerial at this time, though, is that there's a big problem with griefers here at Aerial. Now, just to show you exactly what I'm talking about, discussing these griefers, here's one right here. Freelancer comes flying in out of nowhere and just starts lighting people up as I'm flying over to do the filming for this hand mining video. I was in a Mustang at this time, so there wasn't anything I could do, so I just kind of harassed him a little bit, but you can see right here, he just comes right up and just annihilates this poor guy who's mining for no reason. Be careful out there. Microtech doesn't have this issue, but I've seen it happen pretty frequently on Aerial. I'm going to switch to Prospector mining at this point. I really enjoy the Prospector because it's pretty quick and easy, and it's fast. Compared to using the Argo MOLE, it's a lot more responsive when you're flying up to locations to mine. And I do find that it has a hard time with maintaining its hydrogen fuel if you're going to be doing in-atmosphere mining, so I do recommend the asteroid belts. Pretty easy. Keep popping scans until you find one. Fly on up to it and start cracking it open. Now, I know one of the things that I've seen a lot of people questioning with how to pick up ore is determining what the correct percentages are in order for it to be worth it. I feel like I can give you a good example here. When you crack open this Quantanium rock, for instance, it's got a good variance for the different types of minerals that you're going to find inside. Quantanium is one of the last things you'll want to pick up with a rock like this, but you're going to see that there's several rocks that I still pick up that are really high amounts of quartz and really high amounts of aluminum. As long as you're getting, like with the cheaper materials, honestly, I still pick them up if the rock's like 75% aluminum or copper or gold, because you're going to have a lot of times where you're going to say, oh, okay, well, this 50% rock is acceptable because it's got, 10% laranite and 40% quartz in it. That's still half inert materials, and if all of the rocks you're picking up are half inert materials, it's still not going to break out that nicely unless you're constantly getting agricium and laranite and quantanium. So as with this video, you'll notice I do pick up the quartz and the aluminum rocks, especially if they're close to 100% sellable. I don't care what it is. If it's almost 100% sellable corundum, I'm picking it up, because it's faster for me to just fill up my cargo holds with things that are relatively valuable and a couple things that are highly valuable, and then just keep swapping the cargo loads out, than it is for me to sit here and dilly-dally for the next 45 minutes because I don't want to pick up this quartz and aluminum because it doesn't meet my metrics. Like, don't be so strict about what you're picking up when you're using a prospector. The benefit of a prospector is that you get to quickly fill up your cargo holds, quickly return, and sell. I mean, just in this quick little 15-minute video, it's, you know, tens of thousands of UEC. Just to hop over real quick, make 50K, hop back over. This was like a 20-minute video. I rented this prospector. Now, granted, I did put the mining laser on it, the Helix S1 mining laser. Make sure to pick that up once you make 100,000 UEC. It's going to make mining Quantanium feasible. If you don't have the Helix size one, you're not going to be able to pick it up. Also, in this final clip here, you see, don't go try to sell it at the trading consoles where you sell your hand minables from your backpack or your rock minables. You actually have to sell these at refinery consoles, which you can only find at like major cities, Levski, and Port Olisar. So I do recommend Port Olisar. Now for this final clip, I'm going to be using the Argo MOLE, and this is mainly so that I can demonstrate to you guys how to get to the Aerons Halo from Hurston space. There is a ring of asteroids that circles all of the Stanton system. It's basically between Hurston and ArcCorp and Crusader and Delamar. You can still see it right here where I'm fully zoomed out. And what we're going to be trying to do is end a quantum jump in that. There are a few different routes to get there, and I do a lot of mining out here in Aerons Halo. It's great for orgs because you can have something like a mole hop out here and then have your prospectors work in tandem with them to pull in like Quantanium loads, drop them off, fly back out, while the Argo continues busting open the cheaper stuff and filling up. That's something that we've been having a lot of fun with in my org, and I think a lot of people might see success with it, so I want to get this out here so more people see it. You basically just lock on to ArcCorp, start your quantum jump. You're gonna sit here in quantum all the way until you get to 9.5 thousand. Once you see it, or I'm sorry, 9.5 million. Once you see it tick from 9.5 million, that's when you're gonna shut off your engines. Shut everything off. I turn off my quantum drive, I turn off my engines, and I turn off the ship itself. So I hit B, U, and I. I wait a couple seconds and then I hit B, U, and I again. And what that does is it spits you out exactly in the center of this massive asteroid belt. And I mean, this thing is loaded with minerals. Every time I've jumped out here, I end up catching 3 to 4 pings as soon as I come out of the quantum jump. The really nice thing about it too is you don't have to worry so much about people attacking you. I think it's about 500,000 kilometers, maybe 1 million kilometers in like width. So you have a pretty nice gap that you can hit this with. If you're jumping from ArcCorp, you jump out of quantum when there's 10.5 million remaining. This is also really safe. If you're jumping out, it's very unlikely that somebody is going to be within 10 kilometers of you. And even if that's a big concern for you, you can always, turn left or right into the Halo and just haul for a minute. Get a couple thousand meters away from where you had jumped out, and pretty much nobody's going to stand a chance of finding you. I would like to see more people out here. I think it would be really cool. It's a fun place for people to mine, and I think it's kind of sad that we don't have a lot of people taking advantage of it. Again, there are other ways to get to it. There's a way that I like to go that involves jumping from Levski to one of the nearby orbitals and hopping out. You can also do it at Crusader. You can do it at Microtech. Any way that you can reach this, it's loaded with Quantanium. I've went the other night with my org, and we found literally 7 rocks of Quantanium. We filled up one of the prospectors with Quantanium, most of the Argo MOLE with Quantanium, and took off. And we had a really nice run. It's hard to make it back with Quantanium from here, so, best of luck to whoever wants to work on these, but this is definitely something I recommend and would like to see more people hanging out at. Alright, and with that, citizens, that is another video. Thank you again for watching all the way until the end. I really appreciate you guys, and all the help getting to 100 subs has been fantastic. As always, if you like the video, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell option so you can get any notifications when I put out my next video. I'm really excited to keep going with this channel. I'm having a lot of fun. It seems like the comments are a great place to hang out as well. If you guys have any tips, if you guys have anything you'd like to see in the next future video, please let me know in the comments below. I'm always willing to have a discussion with you guys. I'm pretty active in watching my notifications as well, so I try to be on it as quickly as possible. I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for hanging out, everybody.